At the heart of the country, where stars dance in the sky and rivers sing songs of the past, stood a grand castle whose magnificence seemed to defy the most exquisite words to describe its beauty. This castle was the residence of the great and wise King Albert. King Albert was not just a ruler but a symbol of wisdom and justice for his people. He earned the respect and love of his people through his care and noble deeds. Yet, despite all his achievements, the king's heart remained burdened and filled with longing. His son, Prince Richard, was the source of great pride for the king. Richard was gifted not only with beauty but also with intelligence and nobility that surpassed his appearance. He breathed the freshness of spring winds, and his eyes were like two bright stars in the cloudless sky. Looking at his son, the king felt deep pride and hope. He found in Richard everything needed to continue the legacy and glorify the kingdom further. But the king secretly bore the weight of a mystery hidden in his heart, waiting for its time. With a solemn and secretive conversation, he summoned Richard to his chambers. The candlelight flickered on the walls, creating a mysterious atmosphere that heightened the importance of this moment. "My son," began the king, his voice resonating like deep thunder during a storm, "the time has come for you to learn what you are meant to do. You are the future ruler of our kingdom, but that is not the only thing I desire for you." Richard stood there, feeling each word his father spoke resonate within him like a mantra calling him to greatness. He realized the immense responsibility resting on his shoulders but also felt excitement and hope for the hidden treasures the future held for him. "After my death," the king continued, "you will become the king. But before you ascend the throne, you must find someone who will be your support and partner in your life. You must find love, Richard. Love that will capture your heart and help you grow and rule our kingdom with wisdom and strength." Richard listened to his father's words, feeling the weightiness in his voice. "I understand, father," he replied with solemnity in his voice. "I know what I must do." The king looked at his son with deep pride. "You are my hope, Richard. Do not betray my expectations." Richard smiled, feeling a transformation happening within his heart. "I won't disappoint you, father. I promise." And with these words he left his father's chambers, knowing that his journey had only just begun. The task ahead of him was immense, but he was ready to embrace the challenge and find what was meant for him. After the conversation with his father, Richard began his journey into a world filled with mystery and promises. His heart was filled with excitement, his soul ablaze with the desire to explore new horizons and find what felt like a lost treasure waiting for its owner. He set forth into the world like the finest knight, ready to conquer the challenges that awaited him. Beneath his feet lay paths wild and unknown, but his heart was filled with confidence and determination. His first stop on his journey was in a city where the rainbow played shades of its colors in every corner, and the bustling streets were like living arteries carrying life through the heart of the city. Here, he met scholars and wise men who hovered in the shadows of ancient books and silent archives, seeking answers to the universe's unsolved mysteries. "Wise ones," Richard asked, "do you know where I can find love that will illuminate my heart and help me become a true king?" The wise ones pondered, their beards waving like waves on the sea of knowledge. "Love is not something you can find like a treasure, my son," replied one of them. "It finds you when you least expect it. You only need to open your heart and allow it to enter." Enchanted by the words of the wise, Richard continued his journey. He visited cities and villages, mountains and valleys, seeking echoes of love that would speak to him about his future. In the fiery deserts where columns of fire danced in the dawn rays, he met an old sage who told him about the power of love that turns the greatest trials into sources of hope. "Seek beyond your comfort zone, Richard," the old man said. "Only then will you find what you truly seek." In the eastern forests where violet bushes reached for the sun as if begging for its blessing, he met a wise woman who knew the secrets of love. "Look at the world through the eyes of your heart, Richard," she taught. "Only then will you be able to see the true beauty of the love that surrounds you." In the western valleys where streams flowed with the melody of life, he met a young couple who had gone through the trials of time together. "Love is a great journey, Richard," they shared their experience. "But when you find what you were looking for, it becomes the most precious treasure in your life." Each encounter added new hopes and ideas to Richard, which he absorbed like deep stars in the night sky. Though he had not yet found the love that would illuminate his heart, he felt his soul blossoming from the influence of these encounters. And he found the strength within himself to continue his journey, with great hopes that the best was yet to come. After countless adventures and encounters, Richard felt his heart burning with an endless desire to find the one who would be his partner in life, the one who would illuminate his path and bring joy to the entire kingdom. He was ready to achieve the greatness that awaited him. In his chambers under the candlelights, Richard meditated on what his father had told him. The words about love echoed in his mind like a mantra, reminding him of his mission. He was on the path to greatness, and he was not going to stop. One evening, after long contemplation, Richard decided to talk to his closest friend and advisor, his father's faithful knight, Sir Harold. Sir Harold was a man of experience and wisdom, and his advice was always valuable to Richard. "Sir Harold," Richard began, "I feel that my mission is to find what my father called extraordinary love. But I don't know how I can find it. How can I be sure that what I feel is true love?" Sir Harold looked attentively at Richard, his hair grayed by the candlelight and his eyes reflecting distant wisdom. "Young prince," he replied, "love is the highest form of devotion and understanding. It is not limited to words or gestures, it penetrates the depths of your heart and soul. To find true love, you must look at the world with an open heart and recognize it in every thought, every feeling." Richard listened carefully to his friend's words, feeling them fill his soul with new discoveries. "You are entitled to your dream, Richard," Sir Harold continued. "But do not rush. Allow yourself to feel what your heart says and follow your inner voice. And when you meet what you are meant to find, you will feel it, like the wind that sings through your soul." Richard meditated on his friend's words, feeling them lift him higher, like wings soaring to the heavens. He knew he had to trust his heart and open it to find what he was searching for. With newfound understanding and a sense of confidence, Richard decided to continue his journey, knowing that each step brought him closer to his goal. He felt strength and courage within himself, ready to achieve the greatness that awaited him. Richard continued his journey through the country, visiting towns, villages, mountains, and valleys, in search of love that would illuminate his heart and bring him happiness. Every step, every encounter, provided him with new experiences, new feelings, but true love still eluded him. His journey brought him to the village of Korchin, renowned for its beauty and friendly inhabitants. Here he met a young girl named Alina. Her beauty was unparalleled, but Richard felt that she was not what he was looking for. Their meeting was brief, yet it left him with a sense of emptiness that did not match his expectations. Then Richard set off for the city of Grantville, where great artists and philosophers lived. Here he met the beautiful artist Lilia, who enchanted the world with her paintings. She was intelligent and talented, but Richard realized that there was no room in her heart for the love he sought. His journey continued, but he did not lose hope. He encountered people of different classes and superstitions, and each meeting provided him with new insights into love and its nature. But Richard's heart remained empty. He felt that time was not against him, but at the same time, he felt the pressure and expectation of his father, who awaited his return with a love that would become his partner in life. One day, in the great city of Palatia, Richard met a beautiful young woman named Isabel. She was charming and wise, and her voice sounded like a melody flowing from the sky. Their meeting was flawless, and Richard felt that for the first time, he might find what he was looking for. Isabel was a kind and wise woman who understood Richard's heart better than anyone else. She supported him, helped him grow and develop as a leader. Together, they created a harmonious duo that impressed everyone around them. However, no matter how well they were together, Richard felt that something was missing in his heart. Isabel was a wonderful friend and collaborator, but he felt that this was not what he truly sought in his love. His heart longed for something greater, more mysterious, more real. So, although Isabel was a wonderful woman, Richard understood that she was not the one who could fill his heart with the same magic he was seeking. And so, he decided to continue his journey, not stopping until he found what he was truly destined for. Richard ventured into a distant and mysterious forest, where legends spoke of amazing creatures living among its sleepy glades and dense undergrowth. This forest was a place where time seemed to stand still and reality intertwined with dreams. The forest paths were covered in moss, and the wind sang its unique melody, gently embracing every tree and bush. Richard walked through green glades and shadowy alleys, feeling his heart beat in rhythm with the nature surrounding him. Among the mysterious forest, Richard encountered many amazing creatures, from fairies and elves to giant dragons and bears. Each encounter was a new trial, a new challenge for Richard, who sought not only adventure but also the love that would fulfill him. In the depths of the forest, Richard met a beautiful fairy named Elvira. She was exquisite and enchanting, with wings that shimmered with the light of the moon and a voice that sounded like a melody from the heights of heaven. Their meeting was like a moment in eternity, yet Richard felt that she was not the one who would fill his heart with love. Then he met a fairy named Sylvia, who was gentle and kind, with long hair that seemed woven from silver and eyes that sparkled like stars in a cloudless sky. They spent a lot of time together, talking about life, love, and dreams, but Richard again felt that she was not the one who could fill his heart with love. Continuing his journey through the mysterious forest, Richard encountered a giant dragon named Firogrim. This dragon was wise and powerful, with a sensitive heart and enormous wings that trembled in the breeze. They shared much wisdom and went through many trials together, but Richard still felt that he could not find in Firogrim the love he was seeking. And so, day by day, Richard continued his journey through the mysterious forest, meeting extraordinary creatures but still not finding the one who could be his true love. But he did not lose hope, knowing that somewhere amid this wondrous forest awaited his destiny. Richard continued his journey through the mysterious forest, his heart filled with excitement and hope. He was on the path to true love, and although he did not find it now, he found all this adventure and search as part of his journey. His paths led him to a deep forest lake, where the water shimmered in the sunlight like a precious stone. He stood on the shore, looking into the water like into a mirror, and his heart was filled with peace and inner harmony. It was then that he heard a voice, gentle and enchanting, like a melody of a forgotten song. "Who are you, brave knight, who has come to my home?" Richard turned and saw a beautiful girl standing on the shore of the lake. Her hair was as soft as silk, and her eyes shone with the light emanating from the inner fire of her soul. "I am Richard, Prince of the Kingdom of Arden. I am seeking true love that will illuminate my heart and bring joy not only to me but to my entire kingdom," he replied, feeling his heart beating with excitement. The girl smiled, and the wind began to dance with her hair, seeming to dance to the accompaniment of the spring breeze. "My name is Lilia," she said. "And I too am seeking true love." Richard felt that she was the same Lily he had met in Grantville. But here, amid this enchanting lake and marvelous forest, she seemed even more beautiful and mysterious. "Lily," he said, "may I invite you for a walk?" Perhaps together we can find what we are looking for." The girl agreed, and together they ventured into the depths of the forest, where every bush and every tree told them its own story. As they walked among the greenery, Richard and Lily talked about everything, their dreams, hopes, and aspirations. They shared their deepest thoughts and feelings, opening their hearts to each other. Gradually, amid this mutual trust and understanding, Richard and Lily felt that something more than just friendship was growing between them. It was love that they had been searching for so long. Stopping near an old oak tree in the middle of the forest, Richard took Lily's hand in his. "Lily," he said, "I feel that you are the one I have been searching for. You have illuminated my heart with your beauty, your wisdom, and your kindness. Will you agree to be my beloved, my partner, my queen?" Lily smiled, and her eyes sparkled even brighter. "Yes, Richard," she replied. "I would be happy to be your beloved, your partner, your queen. You are my true love, the one I have always sought." Their hearts beat in unison, and they knew that their destinies had intertwined forever. Richard and Lily embraced amid this enchanting forest, knowing that they had found each other, their true love that would fill their lives with happiness and joy. Thus, amid the mysterious forest, Richard and Lily found their happiness, their love, their destiny. Their love was as powerful as the forest itself, and nothing could spoil it. They moved forward, hand in hand, ready to face any trials that awaited them on their journey. After Richard and Lily found each other in the mysterious forest, they decided to return to the capital of Arden to announce their love and weave their destinies together before the entire kingdom. Returning to the capital felt like coming home. The streets of the city were filled with joy and merriment, and the people joyfully welcomed their prince and his chosen one. A celebration was announced, which lasted for several days to mark this great occasion. A huge stage was set up in the central square of the city, where the residents gathered to celebrate the merging of two souls into one. Lily wore an exquisite dress with many embroideries that shimmered in the sunlight, and Richard was dressed in his royal attire, with a crown on his head and a sword at his waist. The sun was setting as they stepped onto the stage, but the skies were illuminated with the lights of joy and hope. Richard took Lily's hand in his, and their eyes met in the fires of greatness and love. "People of Arden," Richard announced loudly, his words echoing through the streets of the city. "Today I have come to announce that I have found my true love, my beloved Lily. She is the light of my soul, my joy, and my fire. And I take her as my beloved, my partner, my queen." Thousands of cries of joy and astonishment echoed through the gathered crowd, and Richard felt his heart filling with happiness as he looked at the faces of his subjects. Lily spoke after him, and her voice was like the song of a bird at dawn, gentle and enchanting. "My dear friends," she said, "I accept with great joy Richard's invitation to become his beloved and queen. His kindness, wisdom, and understanding have always filled my heart with joy, and I cannot imagine myself with anyone else." Again, thousands of cries and applause resonated through the streets of the city, and Richard and Lily felt that they were filled with the sincerest joy and love. After announcing their beloved pair, the celebration began throughout the city. Exhibitions, concerts, tournaments, and fireworks were organized. The streets were decorated with flowers and flags, and the air was filled with the scent of fresh bread and flowers. Richard and Lily spent this time together, enjoying every moment that was given to them. They walked the streets of the city, embracing and laughing, feeling their hearts beating in unison. In the days that followed the celebration, Richard and Lily spent time planning the future of their kingdom. They worked together on projects to improve the lives of their subjects, planned the construction of new schools and hospitals, the development of agriculture and trade. Their love became a source of inspiration for all who saw them together. And they knew that their union would help them overcome any trials that might await them on their journey. After the wedding celebration and Richard and Lily's announcement as the rulers of Arden, it was time for their first trials as rulers. Great challenges lay ahead of them, which required wisdom, determination, and strength of will. During their first royal council meeting, Richard and Lily faced a series of problems, including economic difficulties, external threats, and social issues. They found themselves confronted with tough choices that required smart and strategic decisions. The first major problem they had to tackle was an economic crisis in the kingdom. Declining production and rising unemployment undermined economic stability, and Richard and Lily had to seek ways out of this challenging situation. They implemented a range of measures, including stimulating domestic demand, supporting small businesses, and investing in education and innovation. These measures helped strengthen the economy and ensure sustainable economic growth. Another challenge for the young rulers was an external threat from a neighboring kingdom that expressed intention to attack Arden. Richard and Lily developed a defense strategy, including army training, border fortification, and establishment of diplomatic relations with other neighboring countries. They also proved to be effective crisis management team, allowing them to successfully defend the kingdom from the attack. Furthermore, Richard and Lily faced social problems such as poverty, unemployment, and inequality. They took a wide range of measures to improve the living conditions of their subjects, including expanding social programs, raising the minimum wage, and creating new opportunities for education and training. These measures helped reduce poverty and improve the standard of living in the kingdom. Despite the significant challenges they faced, Richard and Lily were determined to fulfill their duties as rulers with utmost dedication and fairness. They worked together to ensure peace and prosperity for their kingdom and its inhabitants. Their relationship continued to flourish and their love grew stronger with each passing day. Richard and Lily knew they were destined for each other and nothing could separate them. After successfully overcoming the initial trials as rulers, Richard and Lily continued their work with great enthusiasm and dedication. They knew that more challenges lay ahead, but they were ready to overcome any obstacles together, hand in hand, with love and faith in their mission as rulers and beloved partners. After successfully overcoming the significant trials that faced Richard and Lily as rulers, they once again felt free from troubles and ready to take on new challenges. However, amidst all the happiness surrounding them, in their hearts still lived the adventurous spirit craving for adventures and mysteries. One splendid summer day, when the sun was shining brightly and the wind sang a song of freedom, Richard and Lily decided to take a walk through the forest to enjoy its beauty and tranquility. Walking among the trees and bushes, they savored the silence and harmony of nature. However, during their walk, they stumbled upon an ancient map, which seemed very old and mysterious. The map was covered with stains of time and contained numerous riddles and hints about the location of a lost treasure. Richard and Lily were intrigued by this mysterious find and decided to unravel the secret of the treasure. They set out on a quest, feeling that it was an adventure that could reveal even more wonders and mysteries to them. With the help of the map, accompanied by familiar local landmarks, Richard and Lily began their expedition. They crossed rivers, climbed mountain peaks, traversed forests and fields, carefully following the clues on the map. Their adventures took them to distant lands, where they met different people and witnessed various marvelous events. They saw wild horses running freely across the endless steppe, visited ancient temples where legends of lost treasures began, and met marvelous sages who shared their knowledge and wisdom with them. During this journey, Richard and Lily not only grew closer as a couple but also matured as individuals. They learned new skills, discovered other cultures and traditions, and found new ways to solve problems. Each day brought them new challenges and impressions that strengthened their mutual love and dedication. Finally, after long and difficult searches, Richard and Lily reached the place where, according to the map's clue, the lost treasure was supposed to be. It was an ancient place, peaceful and serene, with large trees and the whisper of the wind. Unfolding the map before them, they began to decipher the last riddle, which was supposed to point them to the exact location of the treasure. After several minutes of intense discussion and exchange of thoughts, they realized where they should head. Step by step in the direction indicated on the map, Richard and Lily soon reached a wooden chest hidden under an old oak tree. Their hearts pounded with excitement as they opened the chest and saw the gleaming treasure inside. The treasure was incredibly vast and luxurious, containing treasures, precious stones, and even ancient artifacts of great historical value. Richard and Lily felt like true explorers who had found a treasure lost for centuries. However, for Richard and Lily, the real treasure was not only the material value of the treasure but also the adventure itself, which allowed them to discover it. Their mutual love, cooperation, and dedication helped them overcome all obstacles and find the greatest treasure, each other. After successfully finding the lost treasure, Richard and Lily returned to their kingdom with great victories and new experiences. However, the joy of this discovery was temporary, as soon their kingdom faced a new challenge, the threat of war. A messenger arrived with news that the neighboring kingdom, under the cover of darkness and treachery, was preparing to attack Arden. Richard and Lily realized that war could be the toughest test for them and their people, and they were determined to do everything possible to defend their kingdom. After long deliberations and discussions, Richard and Lily decided to take responsibility for the defense of their people and their kingdom. They assembled an army, trained warriors, and developed strategies for the upcoming battle. Their courage and determination were unquestionable, and their common goal united all the subjects of Arden into one unbreakable formation. The readiness for war was high, but no one knew when it might break out. Richard and Lily insisted on remaining in a state of readiness and carefully studying all possible courses of action. They began reconnaissance to learn more about the enemy's plans and identify its strengths and weaknesses. During this time, tension in the kingdom was palpable. The inhabitants lived in fear of possible war, but they also felt the support and sympathy from their rulers. Richard and Lily took on the difficult role of leaders who had to maintain calm and confidence in their subjects even in the toughest times. But one day, when the sun stood in the sky and everything seemed calm, the kingdom of Arden was filled with alarm. The enemy army was approaching the border. Richard and Lily responded to this threat by activating all their resources and mobilizing the army for defense. The battle was grand and brutal, yet Richard and Lily did not waver in their courageous struggle. They stood shoulder to shoulder, leading their armies and inspiring them to great achievements. Every strike, every sword, every arrow was aimed at defending their kingdom and the freedom of their subjects. Eventually, thanks to Richard and Lily's determination and courage, the enemy was defeated, and the kingdom of Arden was saved from ruin and destruction. The victory was celebrated with great festivities and parades, where the heroism and bravery of Richard and Lily were honored before the entire nation. After the war ended, Richard and Lily continued their work with great enthusiasm and dedication. They were recognized for their wisdom and leadership qualities, and their love and dedication to each other made them legends in their own kingdom and beyond its borders. Following the victory in the war and the return of peace to the kingdom of Arden, Richard and Lily could finally focus on their personal happiness and future together. They felt they had gone through countless trials and obstacles together, and now it was time to enjoy what they had, each other and their mutual love. Richard and Lily decided to take a break from affairs and indulge themselves in one of the great gardens created in their honor by devoted subjects. The garden was filled with flowers of various colors and fragrances, filling the air with a soft sweetness and a romantic mood. Under the shade of ancient trees, Richard and Lily spent countless hours enjoying the peace and harmony of their love. They talked about the past, dreamed about the future, and simply enjoyed each other's presence. During this time, Richard and Lily also engaged in planning their future together. They dreamed of children who would fill their home with noise and laughter, and of journeys they could take together, exploring new lands and cultures. But their peaceful idyll was disrupted when a messenger arrived with news that the young rulers of the neighboring kingdom were seeking understanding and peace with Arden. Richard and Lily met with the envoy who brought these tidings and decided to give them a chance for peaceful resolution. Meetings between representatives of both kingdoms took place in a very friendly atmosphere. Richard and Lily were ready for compromise and open to peace, and this became a key moment in resolving the conflict. After lengthy negotiations, an agreement on peaceful coexistence between the kingdoms was reached. Richard and Lily felt deep satisfaction that they were able to ensure peace and tranquility for their people, and this was another victory for them. After the diplomatic efforts were concluded, Richard and Lily returned to their garden to relax and celebrate their success. They embraced under the shade of trees and thanked fate for having each other to go through all these trials together. Over the following days, Richard and Lily enjoyed their rest and cherished moments of love. They spent countless time together, talking, laughing, and simply enjoying each other's presence. With each passing day they spent together, their love grew stronger and the bond between them became even tighter. They were ready to face any trials and obstacles that the future might bring, knowing that they had each other, and that was the greatest treasure in their lives. After all the adventures and trials they had experienced together, Richard and Lily felt that nothing could separate them. Their mutual love was so strong and resilient that no adversity or obstacle could ruin it. They were an example of an ideal union where love, dedication, and mutual respect were the guiding principles that governed their lives. After all the events that transpired, Richard and Lily decided it was time to start a family and embark on a new chapter in their lives together. They planned a grand wedding, inviting all their friends, relatives, and subjects to celebrate their love and the happy beginning of a new phase. The wedding took place magnificently and festively, adorned with flowers and candles, creating an atmosphere of enchanting beauty and romance. Richard and Lily stood before the altar, embracing and smiling at each other, ready to pledge their eternal love and devotion before God and their loved ones. After the solemn ceremony, all the guests gathered at the festive banquet, where the most delicious dishes and drinks were served. They all celebrated the love and happiness of the young couple, thanking them for finding true love and faithfulness to each other. Following the wedding banquet, Richard and Lily set off on their honeymoon to enjoy their first journey as husband and wife. They visited the most romantic places, savoring the beauty of nature and shared moments. Upon their return to their kingdom, Richard and Lily took on the responsibility of their duties as rulers and leaders of their people. They worked together to ensure peace and prosperity for their kingdom and its inhabitants, sharing the responsibilities and joys of governance. Their relationship continued to flourish, and their love for each other grew even stronger with each passing day. Richard and Lily knew they were meant for each other, and nothing could ever separate them. With time, as their kingdom flourished under their rule, Richard and Lily could finally enjoy the peace and happiness they rightfully earned. They had everything they needed for a happy life together: love, faithfulness, understanding, and mutual support. Their story became a legend, passed down from generation to generation as a symbol of eternal love and devotion. Richard and Lily remained an example for all, reminding us that the most important treasures in life are love, friendship, and faithfulness to each other. And though their lives may be filled with trials and obstacles, their eternal love will always remain unbroken, comforting each other until the end of their days. Thank you for being with us today. I hope that this story has brought you emotions. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel and click on the bell so you don't miss any of our new stories. Thank you for your support. You are the best.